Frag from our team, who's going to come up on board. I'm going to invite him to speak, and he's going to show you a little bit about what's currently available in Hermes Agent as new ways to use it, as well as some updates that we have coming your way. So I'll leave it to you, boss.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Frag here. Yeah, I'm a front-end engineer on the Nous team, and I want to show off a couple things. One of them is going to be the dashboard, which I know has been in the hands of many people. You guys have been playing around with it, but we kind of wanted to walk through some of the things we're doing there. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. Cool. So I have two terminals open. We'll just focus on this one right now. And if you already have Hermes, you can go ahead and run it as it is. And it'll start a Hermes terminal with you right there. And then we're going to go ahead and run the dashboard. So we're going to go back into our projects folder, the Nous, and then the Hermes agent. We're going to go main. We're going to run Hermes dashboard. Now this is going to build out the web UI for the actual dashboard, and it's hosted right here. So we'll go ahead and pull that up, and hopefully a lot of you have been playing around with it, giving us feedback on it. But as you can see right now, I already have a Telegram connected platform right here. You can see any active sessions that are going on, and also any recent sessions that might help you kind of navigate or remember where you guys were at last time. Up at the top, we have a sessions tab, and you can see any different sessions that you have. I won't go into them too much because there might be some information in there, as well as analytics over how many tokens you have been using as a breakdown with that. You can also go into the logs to see any debug logs or info or warning logs and really go through that. A cron manager, I have two right now. One I'm working on my weight, and the other one is just a morning briefing with some like consolidated emails. I pretty much use Hermes Agent as like my personal assistant for the most part. There's also the skills hub, which you can go through and look at any of the other skills that we have here. And additionally, some of the things that are really, really nice about the dashboard is being able to manage your entire config file right within the UI instead of going through like your config YAML and stuff, as well as any keys that you might have associated with that account. I know a lot of people that were using Hermes Agent were looking for translation in other languages. So right now we have a Chinese translation that should hopefully help a lot of people out, and we'd love for your feedback on that to see if it is helpful and if there's any other areas of improvements that we can make to make that kind of the best experience for people in different languages. That's it right now for this. There is going to be some new changes in the new updates, mostly around like routing, so you can actually navigate to just /sessions instead of it all on a spa. I did also put in something soon that's going to kind of move over some of this kind of sidebar layout and condense it into things that also have filtering. So skills will get a filter sidebar. Your logs will also have a filter sidebar with it, and anything else that maybe is going to, kind of go in that direction as well. So that's it right there. The other like really exciting thing that I wanted to show off right now is basically this new TUI that we're working on. So we have a pull request. This has been built by Brooklyn. She goes by Out This Life on GitHub. Massive PR, whole bunch of changes, whole bunch of new features, and really a bunch of just responsiveness compared to what's already there right now. In addition to that, like it's been a huge refactor, right? So shout out to all the contributors that have been creating pull requests, creating issues, helping out everybody in the Discord. Without you guys, Hermes Agent wouldn't be the monolith that it is today. And we took a lot of that and we started to kind of section it off into more composable areas. So let me pull down the feat and refactor. We should already have it, so just make sure. Cool. And now in order to, I guess, use the current, Git branch of this, I'm going to direct my virtual environment to the current one now. So now when I run Hermes, and it's as a flag right now for TUI, but we're going to consolidate it to the other approaches, like how we just ran dashboard like this. Probably have it like TUI for now. Eventually, this will be rolled into the like greater TUI, but we want to get it in the hands of people before it actually goes live. So now that's going to go ahead and install those dependencies. One of the dependencies being these like nice little Unicode spinners. Cool. Sweet. So some of the things that we started to consolidate and make a little bit better for this is just in general the help menu, right? So we've moved a lot of like all the skills. There was like hundreds of them that were showing in here. So you can all now just find those within your skills command, and everything's a lot more cleaned up. One of the nice things about this too is like real-time skin refreshing. So if I wanted to change this to say, we'll just do, I don't know, the Charizard one. Kind of skin Charizard. Of course, there's some demo demons in the chat. So boom, it already switched over to it, and you can start to see just the Charizard agent live reloading there. The other cool things, let me see if Brooke had some notes for me that she wanted me to share with you guys. Right, so just like in general tool calling, so I have, like I said, I have meal plan recipes, so I can say, can you grab my meal plan for tomorrow? And you're going to start to see it actually kind of like start thinking, show the tool calls, and it's a little bit more responsive than what we had previously. So there it is. Very, very cool. The other thing that we are putting in here is markdown support. So if you did something like, can you show me an example of markdowns of a markdown file? So once that goes through, it's nice and formatted this way, which is just a nice little, quality of life change compared to what we had before. Let's see what else. Of course, like very much like how we had the skin changing, you can see like we can switch personalities on the fly as well. Which it seems like some of that's broken, so we'll have to do that. But again, if we want to switch to a quiet personality, that's the same. If I said like, hey, Hermes, how's it going? It starts to reply in the personality, which has always been there, but it's a little bit easier, or should be easier to get there going forward. So there's a whole bunch of other features in here. It's hard to really say like which ones to really narrow down on. I think like one of the nice quality of life changes is like actually being able to scroll within this viewport. But yeah, so the Git branch is up there. I'll definitely paste it in there in the Discord. If anybody wants to kind of get an early preview of it, by all means, pull it down, play around with it, see how it feels. But yeah, I'm really excited to get that into the hands of you guys. Karan, was there anything else that maybe I should touch on while I've got the stage?
Anything you want to share, if anything, yeah. I mean, feel free. I just want people to see what we've been working on, what we can do.
Totally. Let me try to see if there was anything else.
Something I think is
Tool
really
calls.
cool. Something I think is really cool in this new TUI that I don't know if it's in this version you have, but the collapsible or expandable tool calls are thinking blocks. Some people want extremely verbose, like see everything, and some people otherwise go into a mode where you kind of hide everything or you summarize everything. With the new TUI being able to actually click the things that you want to expand or collapse, I think is really, really useful, adds interactivity to it, and a lot of customization. Great job you guys have been doing on this.
Yeah, totally. Let me see if I can try to trigger something to get that tool call. Maybe I can ask it to um, get me my last workout session. So there you go. This is the collapsible kind of tool call menu that we put in here. So you can see that it's hitting the Strava API and it's grabbing my last activity. And you can see that I went for a quick little run earlier today. So yeah, that's super, super sweet. So if they want it like super verbose, there it is. Or if it's collapsible, it's not in your way. Let's see if there's anything else worth kind of calling out here. Pretty much it. And I guess again, like ideally once this goes live, you'll be able to switch your model kind of just from this /model command, and be able to select it just on the fly like that instead of going through kind of the provider setup or Hermes model, kind of swapping that way. Yeah, that's about it.
Great, man. Thank you so much for showing off what you guys have been building and what we're bringing to everybody. It's amazing work, man.
Appreciate it. Hope everybody likes it. Cheers.
Cool. Okay, I'll showcase a little live capability stuff too. So I'm using the old school TUI, the original Hermes Agent TUI. Prepared the session just for this, and we'll see what happens because everything's going to be live. You can see I've already eaten some context up already, just preparing. So first, we'll start with the world sim skill that I've kind of put into Hermes Agent. And trigger that. Hopefully, this should change the whole behavior of Hermes Agent even outside of this call. Um, so bear with me. And of course, if you guys have any questions, not tech support questions like how do I make this work or this is broken, but any questions about how Hermes Agent works, how to make it better, how to customize it for your own case, I'm more than happy to help. So as you can see now, we've launched up WorldSim, loading OSINT engine, psychometric profiler, star thread compiler. All these things are actually things inside of WorldSim, which is very cool. So the original WorldSim was a website that we had put up based off a prompt that we just skinned. And now that we have this harness, we are actually able to let it touch the world and be a lot more powerful in simulating individuals, simulating scenarios. So the psychometric profiler and the OSINT engine is basically just scraping and searching to learn more about the particular entities, places, people that we would want to simulate. The star thread compiler is a very interesting identity reinforcement mechanism that keeps a model in a particular basin or context or behavior that we want it to stay inside of. Anti-slop filters, I mean, you can already guess based off the anti-slop MD that we had previously made. The anti-slop filters are to try to avoid instruct language as much as possible so the models are able to at least somewhat accurately simulate the targets. And then, adversarial refinement is a critique pass. For whole bond persistence, that's some Westworld reference shit. Then we connect to X, connect to Bluesky. We're able to now get information about the people we want to grab. So let's first do exclamation mark help and let it generate the particular commands for us and let us know what commands do we have available inside of the simulator here. Cool. So here we're going to try to use as many of these flags as we can. So let's start with simulate at, simulate at. Simulate at. Wow. I don't know why that breaks that, but let's not use that then. Simulate Technium. And let's choose two more people's X handles. Anyone want to volunteer themselves to be simulated inside of this system? I'll look inside the chat if you want to drop your X handles. Okay, let's pick a couple people. Okay, so those will be the people that we simulate. Set the topic. What should we set the topic to be? You guys want to throw out topic suggestions too? I'll just take suggestions from everything from the chat directly. Not doing stock picks, not doing hating on anything. Um, some people want to talk about AI agents. Some people want to talk about oceanic wildlife. Some people want to talk about Opus 3. So let's say Opus 3, AI agents, oceanic wildlife. Let's do all three. Scenario. You want this to be X posts where people are tweeting at each other, or like a real life scenario being simulated? X posts. Some people are saying, okay, people want X posts. Show both. Real life. Hmm. Some people are saying 4chan forum. Okay, we'll do X post first. X post on X, and then we'll say research depth, fidelity. Let's do 80. We don't need to go to 100. And then I won't set the conversation length. We'll leave it be. I think we can get better results if we use stuff like profile, thread, or archive. Let's do profile and then archive and then simulate. And hopefully it does this for all four people. And launch it. See what happens. I could have set something like an unhinged factor. You're right. I could have set any kind of slider or anything. Asking questions on how to start WorldSim. Is it a skill to install? Yeah, you can. I don't think that PRs merge because the guys are just going through so many different PRs right now. But I will share it with you guys in the chat right now while we wait. Pull that up for you guys. Here we go. This was the latest version I put up. It should be pretty much the same. And I just shared that in the chat. Hopefully you guys can see that skill. People can link to it if people ask for it again later. Okay, so it says the X API is complete. It's pulled tweets from Technium. It's pulled tweets from Aaron, Nulfnix, and Nightwing. These are the people that we picked from the chat who wanted to talk about this. Fidelity's 80 for 4 targets. We're going to pull their X posts, put their raw data inside this kind of profile setup. Now it's going to try to look for information about each person online outside of X. So it is basically doing the recon part. Yeah, it's basically doing a bunch of recon. We want to be able to simulate people, be able to simulate places, things using this. I think it's a great way to shake the model out of the assistant basin historically. And it's a great way to kind of break off from here. You can ask the agent to completely disregard any of this and start talking to you directly as the simulator, which is also very interesting. As you can see, everything is happening in a very like engine quote unquote like format. I think we'll see output soon. Compiling star threads and dossiers. Is WorldSim connected to X API? Yeah, you can connect it to your X API. You can connect it to Bluesky API. You can connect it to anything or everything. To anyone asking what's this for, whatever you want. This is just a really cool thing you can do with Hermes Agent. We thought would be fun to show off. So we let this run for a little bit. Okay. Let's take a look. What do we got so far? Technium amplifies the ecosystem. Every post promotes what Nous built, what Hermes does, etc. Builder who cheer leads his own stack. Aaron, crypto and community, launches products and personally walks people through them. Warm founder energy. Proves she's human, not a bot. So you can see the anti-slop is clearly not triggered right now. It's something that will happen during the actual generation step. And I don't really care to stop the model during this process from not slopping because it's a log probs the model's comfortable with. The model's comfortable with these outputs or this vocabulary because it's something that's self-generated and easier to read your own writing type of thing. Null FNIX, very cool, builds on his own hardware, underdog builder. Thanks for being here. Your boy Lyrical, ship post, loss curves, enemy references. This is Nightwing, our wonderful ML engineer who also works on Hermes Agent. Mechanical checks, emoji, slop, length, gaps. Now it's trying to clean out some of that slop stuff. Hey, simulation. Talking about Opus 3 drops, AI discords, and oceanic wildlife tangent. Since you guys are in here, the people that are being simulated, I would love to get your actual input on how these tweets look. So let's start with Nightwing. Opus 3 is so cracked, it's actually making me reconsider my whole local inference setup. Like, why am I water cooling 4090s when this thing just works? How close is this? It doesn't seem that close. But how close is this, Nightwing, if you had to say? We're keeping an eye out for you in the chat. I will wait to hear back from Nightwing. You can go to the next person. Null Fnix. Bro, this is exactly what I've been saying. Agent reality, utility gap, blah, blah, blah. Everything's I'm saying. I ran my autonomous pipeline. Technium. The Hermes agent benchmarks on Opus 3 are looking really nice. We're seeing massive improvements on agent tasks, particularly on multi-step tool use and long context coherence. Aaron. Okay, but can we talk about how the creative output is leveled up too? It looks like this is actually a thread where people are chatting with each other. See, there's some stuff here like the hot take or this wave emoji that lets us know like this is not accurate high fidelity simulation. This is just an attempt at simulation of these people based off their tweets, but it's not really picking up their voice, right? It's really not picking up their voice. So where can we go from here? Let's try to refine this. Let's look over at the commands that we have here. There's a refine command right here. Refine. Voice is extremely slopified still. Oh, yeah, ignore the destroyed context bar. Refine. Voice is extremely. Let's not even say voice extremely slopified. So let's try to do it in this style. Refine, voice, anti-slop, higher fidelity to targets, build, LM, wiki, or voice, refine, 3x. 3 times. I'm just making shit up, right? You can just make up the commands to make this better. It's the same thing as regular prompting, but I think it's fun like this. I think that you can get a lot more across with less tokens this way, and it's fun. You know, you can get totally different outputs with this way. I see someone said the make no mistake flag should have been added. Well, a little late for that. But that is the classic. Make comedic mistakes seems like a really, really good thing to put in there. Check it out. It's scanning itself. Emoji Technium emoji 2 uses matches salute emoji habit. I can confirm he's got the salute emoji habit. I think a lot of us do over at Nous. Caps 0 pass. Total failure on him. On the word length. Word length a little bit longer. 38% of the tweets have links. Fail. We want to get a link in there or two across the tweets. We're going to regenerate now. See how it comes out. So people are asking, does it automatically know what anti-slop is? Like any kind of web search, I think you'd be able to find out very quickly. Models are pretty aware now, or it's very easy to see what slop is. But this system in particular has like anti-slop passes for it to run through. That's why it's doing this slop rescan or whatever it says. So now we've got V2 as it prepares another round. But I guess we can go look straight to V3. Opus 3 makes me want to sell my 4090s NGL. And this looks like an actual Nightwing tweet. Looks like tech. Aaron, I see you in the crowd. Does this sound like you or no? You let us know. Aaron's typing. We're about to find out. Yeah, right? Snap, I agree. I'm genuinely uncertain whether this output is slop or actually sounds like Aaron. But let's use the source of truth directly here. Zeke, I agree. It has M dash, but we don't know what Aaron's regular log prods look like either. She's typing. In the meantime, we can keep going. So as you can see, starts to fall apart, starts to collapse. It's really just probably the first few messages that we like. This thing is going to say, oh, this is all good, all passed. Now, let's try this and say, total failure. Use JEPA to improve the prompts overall inside this system and make the fidelity to simulation far more accurate, far less slopified. So now we're going to test out another one of the Hermes Agent, systems. The Aaron saying it's not really close to her voice. It's getting much more conversational because she launched a platform this week. Great. So in seeing that, the simulation accuracy is not super high for everybody here, except for Nightwing, who I guess, it's pretty simple to throw this down. We're going to try to use JEPA Evolution, something that's built into Hermes Agent as a newer plugin or tool to improve all the prompts around this and make it better. So we'll let it run, build this eval data set, press against it, test it out. Yes, JEPA, the genetic Pareto stuff. You can also use stuff like meta harness. You can try to do lots of different techniques. Yeah, so it's like rewriting code and doing this right now. Cool. Let it rip. So you can use meta harness. You can use skills like the GAN stuff, push it back and forth, and make it better and better, refine it. I wanted to run this kind of bare bones as possible, show you guys how lightweight this would come out one shot, so we could use something like this improvement mechanism to improve the results further. You can see how this is happening in a couple minutes. You let this run for a couple days and see how well the refinement kind of comes out. Aaron and Michael, I'm happy to hear from both of you talking about Hermes for marketing. I think it'd be really great being able to refine the voice further and further as you build up skills and memory around that voice. Give examples, maybe test it against something like Pangram. You'll get better and better and better towards the voice that you want. And of course, it can already do so much work in terms of actually piloting your system if you're using browser use or browser base or another kind of mechanism to actually post for you online, manage your socials, etc. I think that Hermes can be great for marketing and for using a system like this to fashion a perfect voice. Because let's say you get the simulation down exactly where you want it after a couple days of refinement. From there, you can always try to export that personality or voice as something that it utilizes later, if that makes sense. All right. Sierra4X says, throw in Mirofish to Hermes. Yeah, totally. You can do like the mass scale simulation using something like that, or try to blend it with this. NKCS, is this JEPA DSPy Evolution Flow already available? Actually, I think I may have thrown it in, but I'm happy to push the scale after this as well. I think everyone can definitely utilize this. So we'll see how this comes out. Let it scrape entire public Discord servers. Yeah, I mean, I think that people should try to put their agents everywhere, as long as they're not getting in the way or interfering with anything that people are doing or utilizing. I think putting your agents in as many places as possible, building as many integrations without bloating out the actual repo, but for your own kind of system, having as much tendrils as possible for your agent is really cool. A lot of people talking about their Hermes existing on their Discord, interacting with X, running their Mac Mini. Really cool. I think this can get everywhere. Can you import chat logs to provide the information needed for the simulation? Yeah, you can throw any text in, right? You can really do anything. This is going to take a couple minutes. I'm going to let it rip. So, in the meantime, while we let this run, I'd love to hear about some Hermes Agent use cases from people in the crowd. And if anybody would like to request to speak or showcase something on they've been doing with their Hermes Agent, or talk a little bit about their own Hermes Agent, please feel free to request to speak and come on stage, and we'll take a look and bring a couple of you guys up potentially. Let's see. One sec, guys. Just enabled the request feature. Sorry about that.
Hey,
Hey, welcome, Omar.
thank you. I just wanted to let people know how I use it recently with the new Wiki skill. I'm a
Cool.
university student, and with the lots and of courses I'm currently taking, a lot of information to go through, schedules, things to do, what's mandatory, what's not, all of that. So when all of that gets ingested into a wiki, it gets so helpful in organizing stuff for planning. Ask it a question at any time. It ingests already all the information. I can make cron job go through my university portal, get all the updates. I don't get need to get lost everywhere, especially with my ADHD brain. Just ask it. Already has the information organized. It's so awesome. It's so simple use case. It's so helpful for me. Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear that, man. Do you have anything you maybe want to showcase? It's all good if not. Otherwise, we'd love to talk a little bit more about your setup.
Um. The let's say that's it for now. More other stuff, but let's say that's what been kicking it off for me. It's very simple, but it's so good.
I'm happy
Thank
to
you.
hear that, man. Where do you want to take it? Like, where do you see as the North Star of your use with Hermes Agent?
With my use, I can I'm imagining it like I'm trying to imagine every day. I mean, since early ChatGPT till today, how can I make the best use of such technology? And with Hermes, it's like my last few days, my mind had been exploding, like trying to understand and look around me in my life. Where can I apply this? And it's I'm trying also. There's a problem with the level of models I have access to. You have access to 4.6. You're balling. I'm not. So that's helpful for you, not for me. Um, so Yeah, with better models, I can do much more. With the models I have access now, not that much. That's what I feel with these things. I still like need to also like in just in creating the wiki, it needs to I still go through things a couple of more times. It still makes mistakes. I'm now using thanks to Nous, the model they are providing, and the Mimo. It's good, but still makes mistakes. And yeah,
Totally.
that's the problem.
We want people to have access to the free model, and get the most use as possible as you can out of it to at least onboard people onto the agent. Now, there's also the opportunity for local use. You've got the RL capabilities inside of this model, and inside of this harness. You've got the ability to RL models using our environment service and use something to train with it. And our hope is that your Hermes agent will actually use a model that over time gets better at using the tool calls that you specifically need and following the context that you specifically need. Our hope is that this personalized software turns into personalized models over time as well for everybody. We're
Yeah,
ways away from it, but that's the goal and
yeah.
hope, and why we do this for everyone.
Two things I want to mention quickly. Yeah, as you said, it's like gonna be like software as a service, but software being produced locally for your own specific use case. So software, your computer becomes alive, adapting to you, to your own personal needs. That's one thing. The other thing, the crazy thing is that, okay, told Hermes to make some skill to automate some stuff, make a cron job to get some information from me online stuff. So it was accessing and using tools and whatever. I was like, and it automatically created the skill. I was like, okay, I have this skill. Can you look through the skill and optimize it, like make it more efficient? Do the same with less steps, and it did. That's a crazy thing. And if you just push the attention now, like the agency we have is pushing kind of the attention of these models here and there and hoping they don't make much mistakes. But I mean, with future models and with the memory that Hermes had, like the points of attention gonna be contained in memory, and it's gonna go nowhere to get stuff. But the cool thing is that, okay, I can push it to optimize the skills it created itself.
Totally. This
That's
is a
what.
great catalyst towards that future. Well, Omar, thank you for your time, man. We're gonna let more people come up to speak.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you.
Okay, Amazon, we'd love to hear from you if you'd like to speak.
Hang on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to try to share my screen if I can, but I don't
Great.
know. Discard does not allow you to have permission to capture your screen. Can I do entire screen? Okay, I guess I don't have it set up. Okay, so what I've been working on is I have a Mac M2 and I have a couple of Jetson Nano GPU devices. And so I wanted to focus on privacy-oriented things, and I also didn't necessarily want to put my stuff in the cloud. So Apple has this new operating system called macOS 26 Tahoe coming out, and one of the things they released in it was this thing called container. And so if you're familiar with Docker container and Docker and Podman and things like that, they're really heavy. And so what I did was I used Apple's open source project called Container to run these containers. And so I have a container for Hermes Agent, but I also have a container for Hermes database, or for Honcho database and Honcho hub. And so I basically run all of these as containers, as these micro virtual machines. And then what I can do is I can get my Jetson Nanos to connect to them. Now the problem is that Tahoe has this really extensive security model, and in their extensive security model, they basically say under no circumstances ever can you connect between containers, which doesn't work when you have a multi-tier app. So they say, oh, you have to explicitly define definitions or connections between them. So I basically wrote this extension called Container Compose, and basically I forked it off of the project. And so what we do is we use something called Unix domain sockets to automatically connect between the containers. And so now what I can do is I can have like 4 derivers, Hermes agent in one container, Honcho DB as a Postgres database backing up to Wall-G and doing point in time returns. And so I have 8 containers, and I just describe it in a YAML file, and it brings it all up and connects it. The tricky part is that, because of Apple's insistence that no kernel connections occur, you have to have a signed binary. So I'm in the process of becoming an official Apple developer, so I can sign the binary and then have a corporation basically sign it, and then it'll be able to proxy the data that's been explicit, and it'll proxy internally and proxy externally. So I'll basically be able to say, I want these MCP services on these ports to connect to my Jets and Nanos to be accessible through my Cloudflare tunnels, or and then basically just completely explicitly define all the connections and have everything be secure, so that if my Hermes agent basically becomes compromised and starts writing hacker code, it's completely contained with that container on my micro VM. It can't break out, and everything is defined. It's just explicitly MCP ports that are defined and explicitly Unix domain sockets that are defined to do all the routing. So hopefully people are interested. It's a community project. You can jump in, and if anybody's interested, let me know, and I'm happy to tell you about my progress. Thanks.
Drop the link in the chat for sure. Love to see people building on more community projects here. That's what it's all about. Thanks, man. Okay, Macbeth, would love to see what you've got cooking, man. We're huge fans of your work so far. I'd love to hear a little bit of how you've been using Hermes Agent, and if you could showcase a little of the workflow or outputs, that would be really cool.
All right, my check is working.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right, sweet. So I've been using these kind of programs, at least like Claude and Chat, to just always use as an art assistant in my workflows. And now just trying to do more things local, because as everyone knows, with Chat especially, or no, with Claude, the token rate usage is just extreme, and I cannot code as much as I used to based on the same amount. So this is why I'm loving using Hermes, because everything's more local. It takes me back to the comfy UI days for image generation and video generation. Let me try to share my screen. All right. So if you guys have been seeing, will someone let me know? Can you see this screen window?
Yes, we can see. Very cool.
So this is just me goofing off with dithering programs. And I'm not going to say this is revolutionary at all from what I'm doing. I'm just coding web pages to do generative art things. And it started out pretty basic like this. And then even just some wireframe images like this, or, oh, that didn't go back, or stuff like this. And this one even has music going. So I was able to generate audio through Hermes, which is pretty crazy. So I'm teaching it all these skills of how to make generative art, as well as generative music art. If anyone knows, Strudel is a great way to do coding music and audio. And so again, I'm just playing around with extra dithering animations, and I have all of these made in MP4, PNG sequences, GIF, and HTML files. That way it's just constantly outputting all options for me to use. And it was great to keep experimenting with more and more types of aesthetics till I got to something I'm kind of liking more now, which is this compressed way. And the thing I love about having an assistant like this is I can ask it, do you suggest anything else or anywhere else we could research for more compression and degrading tools. Because like as you can see, like this is just too clean to begin with on how I started, but I wanted it to get a little more crazy. So sorry, I'm getting a little technical and sidetracked here, but eventually I now have like made it say, hey, make me an app, which again, you see people online do all the time. Like, look at me, I vibe coded a new dithering app or something. And yeah, you can do that on all the other platforms as well. But this is just great now knowing I can do it locally and not have to worry about using credit usage. So yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Really cool stuff, Macbeth. I've been loving seeing the stuff you've been posting and seeing that it's all native to this system and the way that you're combining all the different multimedia. Also, I've seen you do some 3D work. I imagine that's combining here with this. Really, really, really cool stuff, man. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Up next, I'll try to like dive in more with Touch Designer. I think Touch Designer is a very unused, powerful program in the creative world, and I use it a lot on the side. And so now trying to combine this whole LLM coding thing at the tip of my finger, on my fingertips, as well as Touch Designer, will be like an extremely powerful tool for all audio reactive new media art kind of things. So stay tuned.
I'm see that. I see people talking in the chat about Hermes DJ and using a Strudel, etc. You have any thoughts on that side of things? Messing with using it as a DJ to do live mixing, live generation, maybe with Suno or something.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you could train it to be so many, you know, genres or anything you wanted it to do, and that would be amazing to have it live audio react or live create with you. And yeah, to think of it as like another partner that you could do anything with. I think that'd be a great idea. Let alone you can make multiple agents, right? So you could have like a whole multi-orchestra band if you wanted.
Yeah, that'd be really sick. Using like each a different instrument, Suno Studio, something like that, maybe, or Strudel. All right, Macbeth, thanks for coming, man. Looking forward to seeing more from you, and certainly keep in touch, man. We're big fans of the work. Okay, up next we've got 37.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I don't have something so dramatic to share my screen with. I don't want to show you guys my dev environment, but I'm loving using Hermes, and I just want to say like a big thank you to the team that has put it together. It's so sick, and it's so sick to see people using it to do these art flows, like Macbeth. That is some really cool stuff. And it gets me really stoked when I hear you talking about using Touch Designer and like doing all this generative art, because I don't know, it's just like enabling so much crazy stuff. But for me, what I'm using Hermes Agent for a lot is I use it to like sort of prune and audit my home lab, and like I get it to like spin up containers for me, and I have a whole flow basically where I have like my own little thing where I do voice to voice on a local card that I have. And I have a whole flow where I basically can be walking around in the city. And if I feel inspired, I can do a voice prompt and it will deploy like the whole website and then send me a Tailscale link, and I can look at it like on the fly on my phone. And thing that I'm able to do with like obviously the models are sick, but it's composing all of these tools together that makes it like so crazy, because I literally can just speak into my Telegram and then it sends me a link and I click on it and I look at the website and I'm like, oh, like change these things, and then it's like, okay, sick. Can you take a bunch of screenshots of this and send it in an email to my client and see if they like it? And then like I'm using it basically to empower this like building like small websites and landing pages and like proofs for doing like real websites for clients, and so I'm like actually using it for work, which is pretty sick. So basically I'll keep it short like that, guys, but it's super sick. Shout out to everybody who's involved.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Shout out, so many hundreds of contributors, thousands of people for working, and you for using it, man. We're all in it together. It's a open source community push. It's for the people, by the people, for the people, 100%. Thanks for coming up, 37.
Cheers.
Okay, Grady, do you want to talk a little bit about the some upcoming plans?
Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff upcoming. Thanks everyone for joining today. I think we had 375 people at one point or more, and now we still have 294, 95. Y'all made it to the end, so we'll give you some cool sneak peeks of what's to come. Just want to shout out Nous Portal real quick. Right now you can go get a free account there, and you can use Mimo V2 Pro for the next week. People have been loving Mimo. One thing we think that's super cool about the Hermes Agent community is they're super model curious. I think of the top 10 models on OpenRouter, there's 8 different model companies represented there. So people are trying lots of different models to get their stuff done. And if you have a free account with Nous Portal, we'll always try to get you the best deals, more free account or more free model access potentially in the future. But yeah, definitely take advantage of the next week with Mimo V2 Pro from Xiaomi. It's an awesome model. More on the portal stuff, we actually have a revamp coming this week. We're going to have some new pricing tiers, maybe some credits out there, some bonus credits, and we're also launching a tool gateway. So what this can do is when you set up your Hermes Agent with Nous Portal as provider, you can get a one-stop shop for inference as well as some tool use, including browser use, web scraping, TTS, image gen, lots of cool stuff, and we're going to add many more tools to that tool gateway. So if you want to have this all in one place and just simplify your setup, this is a great way to do it. And the last thing that we have coming either this week or next week, hopefully in the next few days, is we are going to have a second virtual hackathon. It's going to be even bigger than the first one. The first one was a huge catalyst for Hermes Agent growing in the beginning and people adding things and showing what's possible with it. We're really excited to see what people do this time around and make Hermes Agent even better in a few different areas. So that's launching it pretty soon. So keep your eye out for that. And just want to say thank you to the community. Y'all are awesome. And thanks for joining this jam session. I think that's all we got. Karan, anything else you want to say?
Thank you guys so much for coming. Seriously, really grateful. I'll just end by showing you kind of what we got at the end. Simulations. Not a huge change. We still got some M dashes, but we're getting a lot closer. I think that if you spend a couple days, a couple turns on it, you'd get really, really high fidelity simulations. This is just after like 2 turns or so. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I can't say it better than Grady. We're all a big team together, and we hope that you guys keep contributing and pushing forth. Thanks for coming, seriously.
Thanks so much, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.